Hey guys, Edre here, and today I'm going to be doing a new album review. I'm going to be reviewing the new Pluralone album, I Don't Feel Well. Now, Pluralone is the side project of a former member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and just kind of career musician, Josh Klinghoffer. Now, Josh was with the Red Hot Chili Peppers from, I believe, 2009 to 2019 before his departure, and he put out the first album under this name last year, an album which I thought was very good, an album which I thought definitely showed him exploring what he is able to do, really showing off his musical abilities, and this album really does follow through. This project by itself, Pluralone, I honestly do think is better than anything the Chili Peppers have put out in almost decades, and I was really looking forward to this one when I found out about it. It does follow through with a very alternative sound, but really has that very raw feel to it, a very garagey, very raw feel to it, while also being a bit experimental, and even bringing elements of experimental jazz and rock in there, which is sort of an interesting thing to hear for an artist such as him. Right off the bat, before I even get into the track list, I can safely say that it is a very innovative album. It's a very captivating and immersive album, and the production is a big part of that. The style of music definitely does kind of vary track to track, but there's an overall artistic consistency, which I really like. There is something creatively consistent about this entire project, despite the later half of this album being full mainly of piano ballads. It all kind of blends together despite the different varieties, so I really appreciate that. Vocally, the last thing before I get into the actual tracks, is that he has a pretty solid voice. He's a vocal chameleon. He's able to adapt his voice to different style of songs, different genres, and just different areas, even different parts of a song. He could change it up and do it well. So I was really happy to hear that. Now, going into the track list, it opens up with Red Don't Feel, which is a very dark, very gritty, very piano-heavy track. And right off the bat, it grabbed my attention. In fact, I was sort of like, okay, I'll give this a shot. And then I heard that song, and it really sucked me in right away. And then it goes into perhaps one of the songs that I like even more, The Night Won't Scare Me. Well, it is a bit more conventional. It is a bit more standard rock. It has these solid, booming, just in-your-face drums, which I just love. I love the drumming on here, and this song is the epitome of it. It then goes into the song Carrie, which is a very abstract, very abnormal ballad with very telephone-like filtered vocals, which really grabbed my attention because it was a bit different. Usually on ballads, the vocals are a bit more upfront, but on this song, it was a bit more muffled and toned down, so that was an interesting addition. Also, the swooping synths on the song Carrie really does add a lot of character, and especially that transition from the synths and all that to the more upbeat section. It's just overall, Carrie is a very well-crafted track. And then, right when you think you may have an idea as to where this album is going, he slams you with The Report, which has a very abstract drum beat, a very kind of all-over-the-place drum beat with clean guitars getting plucked throughout it, very reminiscent of In Rainbows or a Moon-Shaped Pool era Radiohead. But the odd part about this is vocally, how I was saying, he's kind of a vocal chameleon. His vocals here remind me the most of Gerard Way, of all people, from My Chemical Romance. His powerful singing over this instrumental really, for some reason, just feels a lot like that, but it's executed very well. The song Steal Away is another droning ballad with beautiful piano and beautiful string arrangements, and this is when you start transitioning into the more ballad section of the album. Towards the end of the album, you have the song Plank, which has some Billy Corgan-style vocals, but it's definitely a power ballad, a very powerful ballad. And the final song on here, I Hear You, does bring in that jazz influence that I was talking about. A lot of piano jazz with a very minimalist arrangement. And there's something about the arrangements of these songs, especially those final songs, how minimal they are, that really just makes us feel immersive and personal, like you're there, like this album is not only it's speaking to you. And what really makes this stick out to me is that compared to the work he had with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I know he was with a few other bands before, I genuinely think that he's on a creative high right now. He's definitely at a creative peak. I mean, I hope this peak lasts, but the last album was pretty good. I think this one is even better. And unfortunately, it doesn't get much attention. And when it does get attention, it gets lukewarm attention. But I kind of see past that. And what I see is a really artistic, very innovative, very experimental, very motivated album that I think turned out excellent. I think is one of the most intriguing rock releases I've heard this year, with a good and on top of the fact that he's a multi-instrumentalist, he really brings that side into the music perfectly by having amazing arrangements, unique drum patterns, unique drum production, just overall good production, and it's great musicianship across the board. So yeah, this is a good album. I liked it. This Pluralone album, I Don't Feel Well, I've settled on giving it a light 9 out of 10, which is a very positive review. I don't give many 9s. I usually don't give many reviews higher than an 8 unless an album really stops me in its tracks. And this is an album that I kind of paused what I was doing. It is very artistic. I'm not sure if it necessarily has the best replay value. I'm not sure if I can come back to this all the time. I feel like it's one of those albums you need to be in the mood for. But regardless, it's a solid project, solid musicianship, solid writing, and just overall good album. Solid or light 9 out of 10 in my opinion. Pluralone, I Don't Feel Well, 9 out of 10.